Hey YouTube, the reason why I'm doing this video is to talk about people trying to get you to suppress the illness or the sickness that you're going through. I can give you the perfect example. This morning my feet was like hurting, felt like they was about to fall off. I'm going through a lot of different things and people are still like, oh, well, you're lying. As if they want me to if as if they want to convince me that I'm okay in a season when I'm not. And this is part of the reason why we have people, they're crying and they're hurting and they can't verbalize why they're hurting because they're being taught to mask, being taught to ignore their sicknesses and their illnesses and what's plaguing them and what's hurting them, what's attacking them, what's doing wrong to them. They're being taught to ignore that and not actually deal with what's really bothering them if it could be dealt with. Because a lot of things that are plaguing us, we're not in visualization of. I can't physically stop something that I don't see. I can't physically stop something that's happening to me. And going through years and years of not being able to see the abuser, the attacker, or the thing that is making you sick or ill puts you in a situation because when you're finally face to face with that thing, maybe you won't even stop it. Because for years and years, you've been put into a thought process and a psychological process of not stopping it because you cannot see it. You cannot deal with it. So when you can deal with it, you don't know how to deal with it. When I talk about this abuse is more mental than anything else. This abuse is more physical than anything else. These people have went to school, learned psychology, learned the methods of abusing people, and now have brought that back to give to the people and to hurt the people and to plague these people. We really have to now say, hey, there's something wrong here. People don't just cry for no reason. We say that they're broken. Okay, who broke them? The first thing we have to start getting answers to who did what, how was it done, so that we can find solutions. But we can't find solutions to things that nobody wants to solve. This morning I had an epiphany. I was a judge. And as I'm sitting there judging a case, I'm in front of a guy and he doesn't want to defend his client. They have fraternized together and got this little frat group or social group or soror group where they are refusing to help the people and they make judgments before the people enter into court. So I went and I investigated everything, and then I was yelling at this guy, and this was part of like the dream and the vision that I had. I was yelling at this guy. I said, you could have gave this person a proper defense and you refused to. You don't even deserve to even be here. And I was like screaming and yelling, and I was upset. I was like super upset. I said, you didn't even try to defend this person and they were innocent. And I remember me sitting up there saying, I'm gonna actually take this to the bar and have you lose your bar certification and stuff. So I'm sitting up there and that was part of the vision this morning. And I'm starting to really think how everyday life is like that. We're not investigating what's really going on behind the scenes because some of this stuff we can't see. But if we can put together the pieces that we can see, we can probably get some form of resolution. If we can sit up there and start doing small acts of what would it take to actually give some peace, in this time of chaos, because chaos is that shadow world. See, every time the sun comes out, you still got to deal with the shadows. Every time the fire blaze, you're still dealing with the shadows. The shadows are there. They're not going to go away. We have to still deal with, when the sun comes out, we still got to deal with the shade. You know what I'm saying? The shade is that shadow. That's what keep you cool or whatever the case may be. So we have to still deal with certain things taking place and certain things that are going on that's going on in the shadow, and how we're going to find resolution to these situations that we cannot see, because we will one day be able to see it. And the plan is to actually address it when we can visually see this. I like I said, I went through a situation where I was raped in my home and I could not report. I watched a video the other day on YouTube where they were talking about very young men that said they had spent 20 years going back and forth to Diddy parties, and they had been sexually assaulted for 20 years and could not speak out about the abuse and what had taken place with them for 20 years. And we have evidence of this. Now, what's really going on? This is part of the reason why they don't want our children educated in school. They don't want our children being entrepreneurs. They don't want our children expanding their knowledge and their growth, because that's what they're hiding. They are creating a new slave society. The only way above this slave society is what? Knowledge. Knowledge is the key. We have always know, if you really want to stop somebody from doing stuff, what you got to do, you got to seek out the knowledge. But what's happening to the books? I remember I was riding down the road, and they had all these books, and they had said, we just cleaned out the libraries, we got rid of all these old books and stuff like that. And I started crying. And the woman was like, why are you so emotional? You can't be here like this. And I started crying, and some of me mourned. And they don't understand what the mourning's for. Every time you get rid of those old books, you may be getting rid of pieces of the truth that they don't want other people to know. So I'm mourning, and she could not understand what I was mourning for. I'm mourning for the truth, because a lot of times these new books are not going to have what those old books have in it. And some of those old books have a lot of the truth. But we're so geared towards new that we forget to actually pay attention and say, okay, as we're renewing, we still got to hold on to the old, because the old is that foundational work that's going to lead us to the truth. Because after a while of renewing and getting rid of certain things, we have lost pretty much traces of history, traces of things that matter, that we can never get back. But they were happy though. Hey, our library's got no books. But some of those books don't have all of the truth in it. Like I said, you guys, remember, stay focused, stay concentrating, stay doing what you have to do. May God bless you. And another thing, don't be scared to tell them that you're sick. If you don't feel well, you don't feel well. Let them feel however they want to feel about it.